Hi, and welcome to Fertility Now. I'm your host, Lorne Brown. I'm a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine, clinical hypnotherapist, as well as trained in the Kalish method of functional medicine and a fellow of the American Board of Oriental Reproductive Medicine. I'm the clinical director of AcuBalance Wellness Center in Vancouver, BC, Canada, and this is a follow-up to Nourish the Soil Before You Plant the Seed. So on another Fertility Now video, I talk about what you can do to maximize your egg quality, and I use a metaphor of nourish the soil before you plant the seed. The follow-up to this video is people say, well, what can I do to nourish my soil? I explained in the other video things that can interfere with your soil so you don't reach your peak fertility potential. And I did not go into detail on how the different things that are available to you can help you change your soil so you maximize your egg quality and the sperm quality to reach your peak fertility potential at the time of ovulation or with an IVF at egg pickup. So, quick summary, nourish the soil before you plant the seed. The idea here is your follicles go through about a 100-day recruitment process. It goes for about a year, but the last 100 days seem to be the most impactful. And so we want that cellular environment to be as healthy as possible, as supportive as possible. So your follicles, as they mature, and then that dominant follicle, if it's a natural cycle, or all the follicles, if it's in an IVF process that you're stimulating, have the best environment so they reach their peak fertility potential at the time of ovulation or egg pickup at that retrieval. Now, there are things that can interfere with your soil, with that cellular environment. And one of them is hormonal imbalances. Shows up as PMS, period pain, irregular cycles, clotting cycles. These are some of the things that you'll notice, emotional around your cycle. So these are some of the hormonal imbalances that you can see. So acupuncture is one of the things that we use to support your hormonal balance. It's excellent at regulating your hormones, alleviating some of the symptoms around PMS and menstrual pain and regulating your cycle or supporting ovulation. Dietary therapy is another one that you'd want to address because the food that you take are the building blocks of the hormones that you're going to be creating. What about inflammation? I talked last time about inflammations known as inflammaging, which is chronic systemic inflammation, is known as inflammaging, and it can cause accelerated biological aging. And we don't want that when it comes to fertility. We want to be biologically young. And so accelerated biological aging, which leads to premature degenerative diseases, and I say premature infertility. And so inflammation, stress, chronic stress, your reaction to your environment, if it's chronic stress, that will lead, these stress hormones will lead to inflammation, also poor immunity as well if you're chronically under stress. Your diet can lead to inflammation as well. And then the chemicals in your environment can create inflammation in your body. The main tools that we use to regulate inflammation, to dampen down that inflammation, again, there's acupuncture. One of my favorite tools is photobiomodulation. That's the laser for fertility. It's known to be excellent for regulating inflammation, stress reduction, and diet. So, and then certain supplements as well. So the diet, we have the AcuBalance Fertility Diet, which is an anti-inflammatory diet. So we want to dampen down that inflammation to slow down and bring back that accelerated biological aging to a good biological age. And so dietary therapy is key, most important, dietary therapy. There's supplements we can use. There is acupuncture, there's low-level laser therapy as well. So, and then the mind-body tools that we do at AcuBalance, all to regulate inflammation. Lack of sunlight. This is about the mitochondria, which are known as the batteries of the cells. So if the embryo, if the woman, she's the one that's going to transfer the embryonic mitochondria genetically. So if the mitochondria aren't great, the batteries aren't great, the thought is that early embryonic division, so when the embryo is dividing in the fallopian tube, or if you're doing an IVF inside the lab, and then to implant and continue to grow while you're waiting for that placenta to form, the early division of the embryo and implantation takes a lot of energy. And if there's poor mitochondrial function, then there's not enough energy, and that's possibly why they're not having good embryo division or implantation. So in the plant analogy, plants take the sunlight and convert that into energy, photosynthesis. Well, our cells also take in light on the spectrum, and it seems that red and infrared light are very good for supporting our mitochondria on a cellular level. So the photobiomodulation we use are red and infrared light, and this has been known to help support the mitochondria function. And our intention, the goal is to improve mitochondrial function to support the egg quality and sperm quality. Dietary therapy, again, can impact the mitochondrial function, so the energy. Supplements. Many of you may be taking coenzyme Q10. The purpose of that is for the mitochondrial function. And even acupuncture now, when they start to study on a cellular level, can see certain changes in ATP. That's the energy that the mitochondria produce. They can see that on a cellular level. And so all these things, supplements like CoQ10, dietary therapy, acupuncture, and definitely the low-level laser therapy, the photobiomodulation to improve mitochondrial function. Nutritional deficiencies, that goes right down to diet and supplementation. And then we also use nutritional IVs. Our naturopathic physicians at our clinic can give IVs, so the nutrients are going right into the blood, bypassing the gut, where many people have poor digestive function. And so we're not worried about lack of absorption because we're getting it right into the cells. Toxicity, we can use supplements for toxins and chemicals and endocrine disruptors. So we can use diet and supplementation to support the body's detoxification pathway. So your body knows how to do this, but sometimes it gets gunked up and it just needs a little extra support. So these aren't, for most people, these are not aggressive, strong detoxifications that we use in our clinic. For our fertility patients who generally are not sick, they're just subfertile, so they're not getting to their full potential to have babies. You just need some support around your detoxification pathways. Diet, supplementation, again, IV therapy, so glutathione injections we'll often use. Oxidative stress, that is like body rust. So again, the low-level laser therapy, dietary therapy is huge for this one. Stress reduction and staying away from chemicals as much as you can and helping the detox pathways. So eating lots whole plant-based diet for loads of antioxidants. And then the blood flow, and we have many tools for that. Acupuncture has been studied and is famous for increasing blood flow to the reproductive system. This is key because as women age, it's been shown that their blood flow to the reproductive system can decline. And so we want to do our best to keep that blood flow going to the reproductive system. And if you think about it, as blood goes to the follicles, more nutrients, more oxygens, hormones go to those follicles to nourish the eggs. If you're taking medications like you're doing ovulation drugs or IVF, you're taking stimulation drugs, you're injecting yourself with drugs to stimulate your follicles, then more of the drugs can make it to your ovaries, into your follicles as well. More blood to your lining, thicker, richer lining, so hopefully more supportive for uterine receptivity for implantation. And so the things that you can do for blood flow, there's femoral massage. There's, as I mentioned, acupuncture has been shown to be excellent for increasing blood flow. Photobiomodulation, low-level laser therapy. You're starting to get why at our clinic in AcuBalance, the majority of our patients follow AcuBalance fertility diet, have acupuncture and photobiomodulation on a regular basis. And then through our testing, because how do you treat unless you test the soil? What's out of balance? What's lacking? So when we do our testing, we can see what kind of nutrition you need, extra supplementation, what should go into your IV bags for IV therapy. So we do some testing to see what else you could use. But diet, stress reduction, acupuncture laser seems to be beneficial on that level of blood flow, on that level of mitochondria function, on regulating inflammation. All three keys areas and balancing your hormones. So this was a follow-up to another video I had on Nourish Your Soil Before You Plant the Seed. And people said, what do I do to clean up my soil? How do I pull up the weeds? What do I do to get rid of that contaminated soil? What do I do if it's too much sunlight? Or what do I do if there's not enough, if it's too dry? So we just talked about how do you water your soil and your plant. Well, through laser therapy, stress reduction tools, acupuncture are great ways to, and even femoral massage to bring blood flow to your reproductive system. If your soil is lacking the right nutrients, then again, right diet and supplementation with some supplements to support your soil there on a cellular level. If you have inflammation, what can we do with inflammation, hormonal balance? And we just went through this on the video. There's lots of things that you can do. Always, whether you're doing acupuncture, laser, or nutritional IV, I'm always assuming and expecting that you are following a fertility diet, that you're making time for adequate rest and moderate exercise and sufficient deep sleep. So you're going to bed at a reasonable hour. If you have issues with sleep, then talk to your practitioner to help you naturally let your body unwind so it can go into sleep. And then the other one is stress reduction. So diet, lifestyle, which includes rest, exercise, and sleep, and then developing a meditation or tools to help you reduce the stress in your life are key. And then you can add things like naturopathy, acupuncture, and laser to support all that as well. And we do also mind massage. So there's lots of things that you can do to nourish your soil before you plant that seed. I'm wishing you the best of luck on your fertility journey. Thank you.